with different judges, they introduce variations. And I was just wondering whether it would be appropriate for the Nationals to have a common set of rules that they would apply. Your views on that?
Yeah, perfect situation, of course, would be to have one course Australia-wide and one set of rules Australia-wide, but it's pretty hard to get all the states to agree to that. But although the rules are different slightly from state to state, they all concentrate on the main things, such as crossing, such as handling, etc., and judging doesn't vary all that much. I've judged in 3 states, and you know, the basic thrust of the thing is the same, although around the edges there are little things.
So a lot would depend upon the judge's talk at the beginning of each trial, what variation he's after.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that are a bit contentious from judge to judge and always seem to come up at judges' talks prior to the commencement of a trial. Is one, are you allowed to instruct your dog while it's casting? Most judges say you can do what you like, but the point still rises that if you're telling a dog to do whatever and it doesn't, the dog can be ruled as being not under control. The other point is walking backwards. Some judges won't allow it at all. Other judges will allow it just a few steps at a time. I mean, there are a lot of competitors getting up in years, and it isn't easy to turn around and watch the sheep and the dog if they're behind you. So I think it makes sense to allow a little bit, but if the sheep are there, we'll get your dog into position and move the sheep and get it over and done with.
Well, certainly the New South Wales permit it, and it's in the judge's discretion how long it goes on for. But you're right, other states take a more rigorous application. In some ways, I would have thought the purpose of the rule is to see the quality of the dog, not just the rule for the rule's sake.
Without a doubt, the trouble is if we had a set of rules that covered every loophole, it would be bigger than the Bible. So we have a basic set of rules that are interpreted by the judges and expected to be interpreted in terms of common sense. So there is a little variation from judge to judge, but I mean, if a judge doesn't want you to walk backwards at all, well, you don't walk backwards at all, unless you're prepared to forego a point. In Europe, in all the countries in Europe, if you whistle or speak to your dog when it's casting, you lose points. The dog is supposed to cast out freely without it prompting. And over there they have to cast their dogs 800 metres.
That's a long cast.
Yes, and that's in the first round. In the final, they have to do it twice. They have to cast to the right, 800 metres, and bring down 8 sheep, and then they have to cast to the left and bring down 8 sheep, 800 metres again, and go around the course and complete the finalities of it in 16 minutes. So they can't walk the sheep have to travel. And the aspect of the trials over there is a section called shedding, where there is a circle, I think it's 20 metres in diameter, drawn on the ground, painted on the ground. The dog has to put the sheep in there, and there will be 3 sheep wearing a red collar, and the dog has to bring those 3 sheep out and keep the other sheep in the circle. And there's a tremendous amount of skill. Interestingly, at that international championship that I went to, there was a junior section, and they appeared to be perhaps up to 20 or 21 from several different countries, and none of those young ones completed the shedding section. So it is an experience learned.
And they have a double brace as well on some of those trials, with 2 dogs.
And the fellow who won it, it was as simple as falling off a log for him. And his dog just did it. And not only do they have to keep the remaining sheep in that circle, they have to keep the other sheep away from the circle. And it's a skill, and no doubt about that. But, you know, the winner did it well.
And was a pleasure to watch.
Oh, it was. Oh.
Well, this is a pleasure to watch. Michael's taken the sheep down the corridor, right in the middle, right on his right-hand side.
I've been
around the
talking
one peg.
and not concentrating on that, but he hasn't lost many points, I don't think, has he?
No.
Yeah. But again, a very capable dog handler.
Obviously, with the number of trophies he's won.
And his dogs love him. They hang around him and jump up on him, and I mean, he's obviously not cruel to them.
No. If I ever came back as a dog some years ago, the way in which Tony Elliott, for Gunda guy down that way, treats his dogs, I thought I want to come back and be pampered by Tony.
I've often said I want to come back in the next life as Susan Young's dog.
Yes.
Do you know Susan?
No, I don't.
They don't sleep on a piece of carpet, they sleep on a padded mattress. And they're fed chicken legs and yeah, she look after her dogs. Oh, I could live that life, I reckon.
Well, Michael's doing very, very well.
Oh, extremely well.
Rabbit's got them perfectly under control.
And no melodrama.
No.
Just doing the job.
A little bit of movement there, but Rabbit was quick to block them.
Very. And as triallers aren't allowed to use their arms or any part of their body to direct proceedings, you can see Mick standing with his hands in his pockets.
The late Greg Prince had walked around the course, his arms folded.
Yeah.
So he couldn't be accused of influencing the sheep unfairly.
Interestingly, Greg always worked his dogs to a whistle.
Yes.
Various whistles for various movements. He said, you can't yell or swear with a whistle.
After a few hiccups or two, but no loss of points.
No.
Michael's got them through the race.
They didn't go outside their designated area there.
No. One of the sheep were marking the course when they come back. That was well moved, Michael. He saw those sheep going out to the west, crossed the line. The dog came round on the western side and blocked them.
He was
Now
quick
he's
to
doing it on the
recognise it could
eastern.
only go one way.
Yeah. Either way where there's no dog.
Yeah.
Michael's in the ring now. Pardon me. The sheep are being drawn into the wing. They weren't in the wing, so the moving out shouldn't mean a point. That could have been an expensive error if they'd moved any further. Come on, Rabbit, walk up, move them. And Rabbit's keeping up with them to keep them moving, which is good, because if they stop, it'd be awkward to get them out again. And they're off the bridge. This is a blistering run. He's got them tucked in. Moving nicely on the corridor. They were going to move out of it, but they didn't. Rabbit was there. Stopping to graze. Rabbit comes up, they move again. They were looking to go to the south, of course, but Rabbit's down there reminding them I'm here. Keep moving. Moving very, very nicely. Wanting to stop and graze again. Rabbit has to come up and remind you, I'm here, remember? Now it's delicate. Michael's in the ring. They're about 5 metres out from the pen, grazing. Rabbit's got to move them gently ahead. Stop them turning to face him, to face towards the pen. Will they go in? They're on the gate, looking. Very delicate, they could break any way here. Rabbits being sent around to flow around them, behind them, trying to get them to move, now up close and personal. Just enough. They're backing. Will they back themselves into the pen? No, they want to eat. Anything can happen here, Barry. Well, I've seen them go into the pen many times, but not backwards. Great strength of that little dog. Well done.
She's really good job.
That's an outstanding run.
How'd you go? Oh.
Well done, Mick. That was Mick with his little dog MGH Rabbit. And the prefixed MGH tells me that Mick bred that little dog. So he's had her from the moment she was born, he's broken her in, he's reared her up. Well done, Mick and Rabbit. I'll give you their score as soon as I have it. Mick Hudson, 95. Mick, 95.